Wouldn't you like to get more out of your time with Jesus? I know I would, and it's something that I'm always searching for in my life. I read Matthew chapter 6, verse 6, and I think it gives us some great insight on how we can get more out of our time spent with the Lord. But when you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. I want to talk to you about what you can expect from time spent with Jesus and how to make the most out of your time spent with Him. I want to talk to you about the power of a personal prayer altar between you and the Lord. And there's 3 things I want to give you that we must know about the altar. The first thing is the altar is a place of encounter. I'm reminded of the story of Abraham and Isaac, where God asks Abraham to sacrifice Isaac on an altar. And he takes him up this mountain, and from this place of surrender and sacrifice, Abraham is willing to sacrifice the promised son that he finally was given. And he encounters God, and God shows up in a supernatural way. And what I want us to understand is that altar was a place of encounter, and it was a place set aside to God where they could go and find themselves in His presence. It was a place where we connect to God, and for us, it becomes a place of surrender, of letting go, and of submitting to something that is bigger than ourselves. But we've got to be careful, because pride will destroy our opportunity to connect with God, and it will destroy that time spent in His presence. It will keep us from encountering Him, because deep down, we might think we don't need God. But what we really need is an encounter every day with Jesus. We should never let a day pass that we don't experience His presence. The second thing I want you to understand is the altar is a partnership between you and the Lord. Your job is to pour yourself out before the Lord, and His job is to minister to you in your moment of need. And sometimes, just like Jacob did, you will wrestle with God. Sometimes it will be difficult to yield to God and His ways and will for your life. You see, time spent with the Lord is only as strong as your commitment to it. I feel like I need to say that again. Time spent with the Lord is only as strong as your commitment to it. All prayer altars need to start with commitment. The fruitfulness of this practice is a reflection of how much time and energy you give it. The third thing I want you to know about the altar is that it's a place of change. When you make a gesture towards God and God then moves towards you, you seek and He responds. It's always instant. It's not always how you want it, but if you are faithful to keep coming, I promise you that encounter will be life-changing because you are staying faithful to what God is calling you to. And maybe you're asking, how do I do this? I want to give you 2 quick ways. The first one is you've got to dedicate space. You've got to find a place that is free from other people, free from your children, your spouse, distractions, noise, and interruptions. There is something powerful about setting up a specific place to encounter God daily. You, by faith, are committing to seek God and encounter Him when you give Him that space in your home or wherever that is. And the second thing I want to tell you is you have to bring the right attitude. How you come into that place of prayer with God will determine the fruitfulness of your time spent in His presence. And additionally, you need to have the attitude of intentionality. Time with God is not a box that we check. It is not but rather it is an intentional decision of our heart to commune with Jesus mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. I want to challenge you. Grow intentional about your time with the Lord. Find a place, create that space, and be intentional about the time you are spending with Him. You know why? Because He is waiting for you. I'm Pastor Andrew, and this is your Something to Grow On.